Ah, dividend investing. It's the dream, right? You buy some stocks, those sweet dividends start rolling in, you reinvest them, and eventually you're just living off that passive income. But here's the thing. For most people, it just doesn't work out that way. Most dividend portfolios fail to ever actually replace a salary. So what gives? Let's dig in and find out.
So could you really live off dividend income forever? I mean, is that actually possible? And the answer is a big fat yes. But, and this is a huge but, it all comes down to one crucial factor that almost everyone completely misses.
Look, the idea itself is solid. The whole dividend snowball concept, it absolutely works. The problem isn't the strategy. The problem is that most of us totally underestimate one single massive number. And once you really see this number, it changes everything about how you have to approach building wealth. Okay, so let's get real for a minute. It's time for a dose of reality, the kind that separates the people who just dream about financial freedom from the people who actually build it.
Let's just do some quick math. Say your goal is a pretty reasonable $4,000 a month. That comes out to $48,000 a year. Now let's be realistic and assume a sustainable, kind of standard 4% dividend yield. We're not chasing some crazy risky 10% promise that could disappear overnight. So to generate that income, how much capital do you actually need?
$1.2 million. That's the number. And once you see that, the whole conversation changes, doesn't it? It's no longer about collecting a few dollars here and there. It's about, holy cow, how on earth do you build a portfolio that big?
And that massive number leads us directly to this psychological trap where most investors fail. It's called the great quitting point. And the crazy thing is, it happens right at the very beginning of the journey.
And this is the core feeling, isn't it? You start investing, you're doing everything you're supposed to, you're being consistent, but it feels like absolutely nothing is happening. The progress is just invisible. And that feeling, that sense of it being useless, is what breaks the system for most people before it ever gets a chance to work its magic.
I mean, just look at how slow the start is. You begin with $10,000. In your first year, you make $400 in dividends. That's barely $33 a month. After 5 years of reinvesting, you're still only making $468 a year. Yeah, it's growing, but it is so painfully slow that you just start to ask yourself, is this even working? So, here's the most important point to understand. The snowball isn't broken. You're just in a specific phase where your own contributions, the money you put in from your paycheck, are doing pretty much all of the work. Your returns haven't had enough time to take over yet.
Okay, so if the beginning is so slow, how in the world do you speed things up? Well, it turns out there are 3 fundamental levers you can pull to actually drive this thing forward.
This brings us to a really central idea. Think about your dividends and returns as a multiplier. But a multiplier is useless without something to multiply, right? Your contributions, the money you consistently add to the pot, that's the real engine, especially at the start. So the 3 levers of growth are pretty simple. First, you've got your contributions, which do all the heavy lifting in the early years. Second, you have your return, which is a mix of the dividend yield and any price growth. And third, you have time. That's the magic ingredient that lets compounding take over. It's that classic hockey stick curve. At first, nothing seems to happen, then a little, and then all of a sudden, everything happens at once.
Just look at this comparison over 30 years. If you make a one-time investment of $20,000, you get to about 200 grand. Not bad. But if you invest $300 a month, you get to nearly 450,000. Way better. But check out what happens when you invest $800 a month. You end up at almost 1.2 million. You actually reach the goal. And let that just sink in. The time was the same, the returns were the same, the strategy was identical. The only variable that changed was the size of the engine, that contribution level. And that one thing changed everything.
So this brings us to the most important, actionable insight of all. If contributions are the real engine, then your focus needs to shift away from trying to fine-tune the portfolio and toward building that engine.
So many investors get this completely backward. They spend all their energy trying to optimize the portfolio or chase these risky high yields, but the real leverage, especially in the beginning, is in optimizing your input. The most important question isn't what should I buy, it's how can I increase my capacity to invest and just fuel this system.
Because here's the bottom line, investing is a multiplier, but your income is the fuel. Without a steady and significant stream of fuel, that engine is just never going to build up enough speed. The timeline shrinks dramatically when you can invest more earlier.
Okay, finally, even if you understand all of this, there are some really common mistakes that can completely derail your progress. The good news is they're super predictable and totally preventable.
These are the 4 big system breakers. First, expecting real income way too soon, getting frustrated, and then quitting. Second, chasing those dangerously high yields that often get cut anyway. Third, being inconsistent and skipping contributions, which totally breaks the compounding chain. And fourth, focusing only on the income while ignoring the portfolio growth that truly accelerates the snowball.
But if you can avoid those mistakes and just stay the course, something incredible happens. The system flips. Your contributions suddenly become less important because your portfolio's own returns start doing the heavy lifting. That is the moment your income becomes truly passive. That is the goal.
So, this leaves all of us with one crucial question. Forget about which stock to buy next. The question that really truly matters is this: what is fueling your snowball?